2024 is almost over. And do you know what that means? Yes, it's time for Oxford English Dictionary to announce their word of the year. Every year, Oxford English Dictionary announces a word of the year. A word so important, relevant, notable and trendy that it deserves recognition. And this year is no exception. The folks over at Oxford English Dictionary have been working their little linguistic socks off to try and find the top words of 2024. And they have whittled it down to just 6 to be voted on by the general public. Now, before we look at the nominations for Word of the Year 2024, I thought it would be nice to take a trip down memory lane and look at some of the past winners of Oxford English Dictionary's Word of the Year. If we go back to 2019, one word rose in popularity above all of the others. A word that started the year in obscurity, but then became one of the most prominent and debated words of that year. With the UN stating that rising global temperatures was the defining issue of our time, it's no wonder that 2019's word of the year was climate emergency. Oxford English Dictionary defines this as a situation in which urgent action is required to reduce or halt climate change and avoid potentially irreversible environmental damage from it. Wow, what a mouthful. Now let's move on to 2020. Oxford English Dictionary's word of the year for 2020 was nothing. In 2020, Oxford English Dictionary's word of the year wasn't a word at all. In fact, it was a report on how much language had changed due to the pandemic. There were, of course, some notable mentions in that report, including COVID, Corona, lockdown, and social distancing. Moving on to 2021, and Oxford English Dictionary returned once again with a word of the year. Now, after a worldwide pandemic which left countries scrambling to try and find a vaccine, it's no surprise that 2021's word of the year was, of course, vax, which became 72 times more frequent than the previous year. Vaxxed, short for vaccine, was also seen in other trending phrases like getting vaxxed, vaxcard, and fully vaxxed. Moving on to 2022, and the folks over at Oxford English Dictionary did something unthinkable. They opened up their word of the year to a public vote. And after a close battle, the winner was finally announced as Goblin Mode. Now get ready because this is a long definition. It won't fit on my papers, so I'll read it from this. Goblin Mode, the behaviour of someone who wants to feel comfortable and do and eat whatever they want, not caring about trying to be clean, healthy or attractive, or about pleasing or impressing other people. And that was word of the year for 2022. Now 2023 was a crazy year for Oxford English Dictionary's word of the year. Through head-to-head contests over 4 days, 30,000 people whittled the shortlist down to just 4 words: Swifty, situationship, prompt, and Riz. And after careful consideration by language experts, it was finally announced that Riz was 2023's word of the year. Oxford English Dictionary defines Riz as being the ability to attract people's attention and make them like you, often in a romantic or sexual way. So we have taken a look at the previous winners. Now it's finally time to look at the nominations for 2024's Word of the Year. Starting out with our first word, which is brain rot. Oxford English Dictionary defines this as being the deterioration of one's mental state due to an overconsumption of media. The next word is slop. This is art, writing or content that is low quality and produced with little effort or often with the help of AI. The next word is demure, which means restrained and not overly showy. The next word is dynamic pricing, the act of changing prices to reflect a situation. Our next word is lore, the facts and background information of something needed to fully understand it. And finally, romancy, a blend of the words fantasy and romance. Where am I? What is this place? You're announcing Word of the Year 2024. Look, take this, go. The winner of Oxford English Dictionary's Word of the Year 2024 is brain rot. Brain rot, the supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state due to the overconsumption of media, often online media, that is considered trivial or low quality. It can also be used to describe the kind of content that causes this condition. An example sentence could be, I have been scrolling so much on TikTok that I think I might have brain rot. An alternative example is, you won't get any studying done if you continue to watch brain rot all day. A huge congratulations to Brain Rot for winning Word of the Year 2024. And thank you to all of you who took part in the vote for this year's Word of the Year. What did you vote for? Let us know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you'd like to learn plenty more interesting English vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and plenty more that will help you with your English journey, then make sure to subscribe to Learning English with Oxford. Thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.